Let's talk Epstein a little bit.
Speaking of the Mossad,
I get more hate than Epstein does. You know this human trafficking crap?
Yeah.
They hate on me more with no convictions.
Yeah.
Not a single picture of a victim. Not a single girl on the news saying I hurt her. Zero. Yeah. I get more hate than Epstein.
Well, we've never heard this guy's voice. You're one of the leading voices in the world.
I wonder if it's because the people who were on his island own the media.
That's a great point of view.
Maybe it's interesting. Maybe.
Welcome on into another episode of the Healthy Discussion Show. Today's topic, we will be talking about the Andrew Tate and valuetainment video that they just dropped. This is his first time in the United States, and you guys know that the Florida mayor said he isn't welcome, right? But I think the Florida mayor did that for publicity. He's trying to do what's best for his career. But that's a whole nother topic. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification for me. Also, give me a couple of seconds. Let me put this on up real quick. But before I get into it, how y'all feeling today? Y'all enjoying this good weather? I just came from the gym as usual. Did my 2.5 mile. My God, I feel so great. Feel so good. But anyway, hit that AirTech EMF protector. To support the channel even more. I appreciate people sending me this video to react to. Let's get into the show. Grab your pots and pans. It's time to cook. Don't forget the spatula.
The people who are on his list own the media, and they're like, no, we didn't do human trafficking. This guy did. Let me tell you, the only thing I've ever tried to do with a girl in my house is get her out. Please leave. Please, the taxi's outside. Yeah, tomorrow. I'll definitely see you tomorrow. 100%. I'm a bit busy. Maybe later. I promise. Please go home. Supposedly I'm kidnapping. Garbage. So the fact that my brother and I get more hate for human trafficking than Epstein shows how susceptible people are to matrix programming. Let me, before we move into Epstein, I want to make this very clear, because everyone at home watching this, you need to check yourself. Check yourself. Do a self-diagnostic.
Listen.
If you can get a visceral emotional reaction to somebody you've never met because of something the media has said, you are a slave. You are a slave. If the media...
I 1000% agree. If you don't ask yourself why, or you go beyond, or you read in between, if you don't read in between the lines and you just read headlines, you're automatically programmed. You're automatically triggered. You're just a reactor. Now, if you understand human biology and all of that, we are receptors. So what you see, what you hear is what you do, correct? So if you're seeing these things and it's been pushed down your throat, and you hearing these things, it's been shoved in your ears and all those other things, right? You are more susceptible to believe what they're saying without asking a generalized question. Put a one in the chat if that's true. Now, I am an independent thinker. I think on my own. I don't need anyone to tell me how to think, right? So I always say, well, why is this? Well, how is this? Yeah, I know it's 3 sides to a story. His side, her side, and the ultimate truth. It's 3 sides to a coin as well. Heads, tails, and it might hit in the middle. So this is why, to me, critical thinking is so important in today's world, because you're flustered with so much information. You've been programmed. I'm talking about you're being programmed every day. I know I'm programmed, right? But I'm running my own program, right? Your program, no matter if you're running your own program or you're letting somebody run the program on you. Now, let's continue.
Media can sit down and tell you one side of a story and make you feel strongly and emotionally and angry against an individual you've never met and don't know the entire story of. You are slave-minded. My mind is so open. Let's talk about a subject that's going to get me in more trouble. You said 80%?
80.
Before we go into this, let me get myself in more trouble. Will you write to me in jail?
I will.
Thank you, sir.
Sure, I could have rented a Lamborghini for this ad to generate some false authority. And sure, I could
know
have
what y'all think about that. Let me know what y'all
talked to you about how much my rent.
That's a verbal deal right there. Contract.
Put them back on. Go. Right.
Fucking go.
So I'm.
Well, your collar fixture. Your collar. You can't.
I can fucking do whatever the fuck I want.
So pop that collar, Tate. Pop your shirt off real quick.
I am so resistant to media programming that even when I know somebody is guilty of something, I still ask questions. So Diddy, is he guilty? Probably, yeah. I believe he's guilty. There's enough evidence
Right.
around. He looks pretty guilty.
I agree.
But when the media's attacking him, I sit and think. I don't sit and think, Diddy's a piece of shit. Diddy's a piece of shit. I don't get programmed in the media. I sit and think, why only him? All of Hollywood's doing it. What did he do to get him in?
Listen to what he just said. Why only him? All of Hollywood is doing it. And I've been saying this about Diddy, right? Look at d.o.g.e, whoever they are. Look that up. The family that runs have been basically the alcohol mafia, right? It's a mafia based, right? They run the show. Once he decided to go independent and decided to want to sell his own alcohol, his own spirits, that's when they had a problem. That's when they start pushing Casamigo. Why you think everybody after a while, now I don't drink, but why you think everybody after a while, oh, I'm about to go to the store get some Casamigo. I'm about to go to the store get some Casamigo. It's because you're programmed to go to the store to get some Casamigo because they spent billions of dollars on marketing, right? They already used Diddy for Ciroc, right? These are the same people that own a lot of spirits, right? About 7 to 8 to 13 different spirits. 50 Cent said the same thing too. He pissed off the wrong person because the video that they had of this, they were sitting on for 10 years. What? I said, okay, let's call it a psyop for a reason, right? It's bigger than Diddy. I've been telling people that. No Diddy. It's bigger than Diddy. I've been telling people that. No Diddy.
In trouble because there's a whole bunch of others who've done the same things, but they're okay and he's not. Why did they randomly choose him? Did he stop obeying? Did he not re-sign the contract? Did he refuse to shut up about certain things? Why did they pluck him from the bunch of hundreds they could have gotten? That's what I think when the media attacks someone.
Indeed, me too.
That's what a smart man thinks. When people see me on the news, Andrew Tate, and they say, okay, so he's had some girlfriends and one girlfriend 10 years ago said he's a bad person, let's say. That applies to every man on earth. A slave will go, Andrew's a bad person. A smart man will go, why him? Why did they randomly choose this one guy when they could have chosen anyone? Why did they pick him? Well, let's look at the things he says. Oh, he talks against war. He talks against this. He talks against that. Oh, turns out he's an enemy of the slave mind and the programming. Maybe that's why. Intelligent people analyze why things are happening as opposed to feel emotionally invested in that event. So if you are watching something on the news, or if you have a strong opinion on someone you've never met, all these losers tweeting negatively at me who hate me so deeply because they saw a part of a YouTube video once and it offended them to their core. They can't stop tweeting against me. And Megyn Kelly thinks I'm bad and she's never even spoken to me. All these people are slave-minded. Use your brain and think for yourself.
Fact.
Why did they choose me? Randomly. Once I become famous,
Why do y'all think they chose Andrew Tate? You know what I think? This is what I think, right? Can we talk about it? We're having a healthy discussion. Andrew Tate stands for masculinity. He's against feminism. Point blank, period. He's against feminism. He's against a lot of things that's making society, especially the Western society, weak, especially what's making Europe weak, right? Feminism. Just as much as I believe that a woman is the soil and a man is the seed, right? It's just that simple. You should plant as many seeds as you need to plant and be responsible and make sure that you can take care of. But your ultimate purpose, right, on life, if you take the money, if you take everything else away, your ultimate purpose is to reproduce. With feminism now, there's no reproduction. With all these rights, I identify as this and I am this and I am that. It's no reproduction. So it's about reproducing. That's it. If you can't reproduce, guess what? You can't plant. You can't put those seeds in the soil. It's just that simple. Let's just think about it so he stands for masculinity, right? Think about it. If you want a society to be weak, what's the first thing you do? You take out the men. Simple. You take out the people that's willing to have an uproar or uprise to protect his family, his assets, his prodigies, his kids, his everything. You take that person out. You take those group of people out. You try to silence them. So what you're doing is you're programming society to accept the role of being weak. They hit you with the okie doke. They said, you know what? Instead of us walking in and going in and doing the work ourselves, why not incentivize the woman, right, to be disobedient, mischievous, undermined, feminized, right? The men. So why not put women against men? Why not incentivize the woman? That's why in the United States of America, think about the court system, how it's made, right? And I figured out that the judge and everyone else get paid after this. Child support, for example, just giving a quick example, right? They incentivize the woman to break up the family. And this has been a psyop since way, way back in the day. They incentivize the woman to break up the family, right? So she can depend on the government, which then, what does that mean? It leads society over the years to be even weak. Women rights. I'm not saying that women can't have a good life, but if you say the word submission or be submission around a woman, they think that as they take that as a bad thing. But I said, that's the most beautiful role you could play. A soft life. What? But no, they say, okay, we want careers, we want this, we want that, right? Now you're in competition with a man. How? Look at all these sports of these men that identify as he, she, them, right? That identify as such. How is that even fair to the woman? But hey, I look at it as you get what you ask for. That's what you guys want to participate in. That's what's going to happen. Do I agree with it? No. I think it should go back to man and woman. It's just that simple. That's the cure. That's the antidote. You want to fix society right now and how it's going, just go back to the original way, man and woman. Let a woman play her role. Let a man play the role. Don't compare contrast about what's the difference, who's better, who's this, who's that, who makes the money, who's this. It's actually a masculine trait for a man to make money. That's masculine. Just like I don't like women that smoke. I think that's very masculine, right? It's just, you just look at it. Think about a household. A child is better off on coming from a two-parent household than a woman raising a kid, especially if she can't raise no man to be a man. Most of them going to go to jail after a certain point because it's something missing there. You can't, one thing about life, I realized that you cannot change law, like natural law. You can't change it. Why do we spend so much time? We're wasting so much time on changing something that was written, that's divine, that comes from whatever good place you can say is heaven, above, whatever, positivity, it comes from that. Why try to change that? For the gods have spoken. But let's continue.
I spoke against the Matrix, not while I had a webcam studio, not when those videos were made. No, I was fine. You do know that 20% of Romanian GDP comes from webcam studios. Do you know that? Look it up.
Really?
There's webcam studios all over Bucharest. They don't care. Why did they randomly choose me and attack me? Is it because I'm guilty? Or perhaps there may be an ulterior motive. If we're intelligent people, let's use our brains for a second.
Mm-hmm.
So when I see the Diddy things, as heinous as they are, I argue,
why don't you own an apartment building? And I'm serious right now. Let me show you a path that could change.
generally part of the services sector. 5,000 women are employed in Romania's camming industry. Minimum. Those are the official ones.
Those are the ones you hire.
No, those are the ones that pay tax. And trust me, most of them don't. So I'm telling you, Romania's full of webcam. They don't care. They've never cared. Why me? So when I see the Diddy things, a slave is like, he's a disgusting piece of shit. He's a disgusting piece of shit. I sit there and go, wait. I don't know Diddy. Never spoken to him. I'm not defending him because what they're about to say, an Andrew Tate sex trafficker, defend sex trafficker. No, what I'm saying is they've decided to wreck him. I don't know his side of the story. He may be guilty. His side of the story might be, yeah, I did it, but so did this guy, this guy, this guy, and this guy. I'm only asking why only him? Because I think that's a far more interesting story. Why him of all of them? Are we allowed to ask?
Great.
Probably not. But I'm not slave-minded. They can't control me. Because let me ask you another question. You remember the video of him beating Cassie up in the hallway?
We all do, yes.
Okay.
In LA.
When did that happen? 2000, like happened like
11,
It was
12.
forever.
A long
forever ago.
Yeah.
Forever
It
ago.
wasn't recent.
Here is, I wish to God this was uncanny.
Forever ago. He said forever ago. And that's the same thing that I've been saying. This is a stage play. They knew this man was doing this for years. He's been on top for 30 years. You don't think they have so much dirt on him? Oh, he offended the wrong person and or people, or he decided to say, you know what? I'm for the people now. Forget what you guys talking about. I'm for the people now. Because you got to understand, right? In life, people make mistakes. You cannot be the judge of everything. People make mistakes. This is how greatness actually happens, right? People make mistakes. Now, do I agree with his mistakes? No, it's a little bit harsh. It's a little bit it's not really on the righteous side of things, right? But you live and you learn. That's all I'm saying. You live and you learn, no matter the age, no matter the climate. But there's something going on with that case, because it's a lot of things that I can break down with that case, but that's a whole nother scenario. Let's continue.
The camera. When that video came out on Twitter, I said, T. He goes, what? I said, they're about to get Diddy. He goes, why? I said, they've just released a video that's 10 years old. They've been sitting on it for 10 years, and they've just put it on the news now.
2016, March of 2016.
Okay.
So
9 years ago. I said this to Tristan verbatim. I said, T, they're about to get Diddy. He said, why? I said, they've released a video that is 10 years old. They've been sitting on this for 10 long years. This was 2016. They got the footage. Why has no one seen it? And Tristan goes, and that's out now. I was like, yep. 2 weeks later, arrested. They set up the public perception before the arrest. And I know how this works, so I saw it and called it. This came out of nowhere. This was stored somewhere in the Matrix archives. When they decided to take him down, first thing you do is slander him, just like they did to me. Before we were arrested, there was a media campaign trying its very best to paint us as bad people, because the media doesn't report the news. Gentlemen, please understand. The media prepares the public for the news.
Listen, now I got to run that part back. I don't think a lot of people is listening to that one. That's why I don't really watch mainstream media. Because you're not going to program me to tell me what to think. Leave my brain alone. Leave it alone. It needs to operate on its own. It's very creative. It's very in tune. It needs its quiet space. It needs its time, its own interface to do its own thing. Leave my brain alone. Leave my brain out of it, right? I can think on my own. Listen to what he just said. And mostly people, 80%, that's what they call it, a mass media, for a reason, because the mass amount of people are being programmed to think whatever they say. Whatever they say. I said, whoa, that's crazy. I need a media channel. I got to go against what's going on. You know, I'll die trying. But listen to what he just said. This was very important. This one, if you don't get nothing else out of this video,
it's very best to paint us as bad people, because the media doesn't report the news. Gentlemen, please understand. The media prepares the public for the news. That's what they do. Well, the media starts saying, you're going to die from COVID. Everyone's dying from COVID. COVID's scary. We might have to lock you in your house. We'll try not to, but we might have to. Prepare for maybe a lockdown. They soften your mind to the idea of things. They don't just come along and say, lock in your house, because people will rebel.
Why is that? Because if you understand the human body, we are receptors. We are receptors. A ball of energy. We are receptors. So what you hear and what you see is what you become. So be careful what you're listening to and what you see. They call it television for a reason. Right? They call it radios for a reason. These are waves. But that's a whole nother conversation, because I can dive. When I mean super deep, we can get deep with this one. You might need to put on your snorkeling gear. Let's continue.
They soften your mind to it. They softened people's brains to the idea of a Diddy arrest on purpose, because it was all set up and decided, just like they did to me, because it is all set up. It is all orchestrated. That's why I do not believe what the media want me to believe. I'm not emotionally reacting to their stories, because that's what they're intending. Instead, I'm analyzing, why did this appear now? Why has this been said now? Why are they putting it out today? What is their further intentions? Why him? Why not the others? Why this one clip of Andrew Tate saying something which could be interpreted badly? Why are we not talking about Andrew Tate's charity, TatePledge.com, where he gives $25 million a year away? Why are we not talking about the dog shelters he runs in Romania? Why are we only talking about an old joke he made 10 years ago? Why? Nobody thinks why for any of this. And then they get played like a fool. And before you know it, they're being dragged down the path, thinking Andrew Tate's the worst man in the world with no criminal convictions. Before you know it, even senators, even governors of great states like Florida are not smart enough to stand up and answer a media question without falling for the trap, which makes them incompetent and unfit for leadership. if they can't resist matrix programming? Do you want a governor who can be tricked by the matrix? Because I don't. Do you want
Think about it like this. I look at it like this, right? Y'all have seen the movie The Matrix, right? Very popular movie. And what happened in The Matrix? While Neo was learning and training, right, to become the one, not the two, everything in The Matrix was against him, even the woman in the red dress. So you guys remember when Morpheus was training him and he glanced over and he seen a nice, beautiful, voluptuous woman in the red dress, not to really find out that she was actually against his whole programming. And sometimes that's how life is. You have to pay attention because the devil comes in many forms. Yeah. You know, see, it's a thought. It can come as a woman. It can come as a drug. It can come as an addiction. It can come as a lot of different things. It transforms. It can come as a lot of different myriad of things. So saying it all to say, right? If they're not with you 9 times out of 10, they're against you. If you're focused on something and you notice that, because I've noticed when I'm super focused, oh my God, it's like the whole world now. Hey, you want to go do this? Hey, you're trying to do this? Hey, you want to come with me to do this? Hey, you want to do this? Hey, forget what you're doing right now. You should do this. All for this, all for that. Well, you want to? No, I don't. I don't smoke. I don't drink. I don't want to do anything. Only thing I want to do is do what's best for me. That's the only thing I really want to do. I want to learn. I want to grow. I don't want to stop learning because you stop learning, you stop growing. Right? I want to execute. I'm an excuse. I want to execute things. That's it. I want to add value to the world. It's 8 billion people in the world right now. Well, that's 2023 data. So it's probably more than that, right? Saying it all to say, my job is how can I add the most value to people before I take off? That's it. That's all I want to do. Don't want to do anything else. Don't wish to do it. Don't want to do it. I don't need to do it. I want to see how I could bring value to these 8 billion people that's living on Earth. Will I get to all 8 billion? That's what I hope for. That's what I work for. That's what I'm focused for. If I get to 5 billion, I'm okay with that. That's the point. Can we talk about it? Well, let's discuss.
AG who's going to, instead of trying to solve the crime in Florida, find an innocent man and waste his time trying to put him in jail? Because I don't. But this is the world we're now living in. All because the Matrix can control people with a MSM, which should be completely defunct by now. Who's even watching this shit? Who even cares what they say? Who gives a shit? Who believes a single word from MSM?
I don't.
Who? Slaves. That's who. So it's very important that you at home, if you want to resist the slave programming, defrag your own brain, analyze yourself, go look in the mirror and say, who do I hate? This person. Have I ever met them? No. Why do I hate them? The news told me. Wake up.
Back at it again with the best app in the world, in my opinion, for now.
That was a good one. I left the sourcing down below. You guys go check in the description. I always give credit when credit's due. I think that Value Entertainment actually add value. So this is one of my sources that I go for up-to-date information. Go check them out. Go show them some love. Go subscribe. Let's go to another video before I get off of this one real quick. Let me know what y'all think about that, though. What do you think about this world that we're living in right now? And what's your projection? Where do you see the future going? Where do you see the future being? What about your kids? How will they grow up, right? How would they be influenced by these things that men are trying to fight for, you know? Because it's a fight. I tell men every day it's war. You may not see it, right? But when you walk out your house, it is war every day. It's things that's working against you, right? Think about it. If you're going to it's an equal or opposite force all around you. No matter what you decide to do in this world, it's an equal or opposite force. But let's watch this last one. Then I gotta take off.
extradition. They have a law that I think came about, Rob, if you can pull it up, I think it's 03 or 07 or something like that. Can UK say now he's in the States, UK, can UK and US's relationship with each other do anything to you? Is that a risk of yours? Is that a concern of yours or not at all?
I'm tall, brown, rich, and sexy. So I have a strong suspicion that's one of the reasons the UK hates me so much. Because the UK is now a fallen nation. It's a completely communist country. You can't speak out. Isn't it interesting that not too long ago, America would talk about going to war and killing people for the idea of democracy and freedom? And now our allies, like the United Kingdom, will lock people up for tweets. Or even worse, Trump and Vance will put Zelensky in his place, which needed to be done. And then our allies will invite him over the next day and hug him and shake hands and promise him money.
How do you feel about that?
What I feel like is that they're not even our allies anymore. That's snakery. You insult, if my brother puts you in your place and I come up behind his back.
That is big facts. I like the word you use, snakery. Oh, they slither, don't they? They slither, don't they? Because that's crazy, right? Like how you gonna, the man's gonna kick the man out there, out the White House, and then he goes with your allies, and then now they're kicking it like nothing happened. What? If I was Trump, I'll just say, look, NATO and everybody else, y'all done, y'all through. Y'all part of the problem anyway.
Invite him over the next day and hug him and shake hands and promise him money.
How do you feel about that?
What I feel like is that they're not even our allies anymore. That's snakery. You insult, if my brother puts you in your place and I come up behind his back and offer you money, am I my brother's brother? Is that how it works?
No.
So now we're talking about the UK government. We can go long and deep into the state of the United Kingdom because every single person I know with money is leaving. Why does the UK want to lock me up? Because I'm seen as a symbol of resistance against their communism. That's why they hate me. They hate me because I teach young men to think for themselves. That's why they hate me. Because the UK's fallen due to a lack of masculinity, which is what I promote. That's why they hate me. Are they going to try and get me? Probably.
Listen, most of his audience is 16 to 35-year-olds, and that's males. That's why they hate him for real. Because if you control the brute force and you want men to be more masculine and you have the equal or opposite force that's fighting for men to be feminine, right? Just so they can have something called control, then he's against their programming. That's why I like Andrew. I'm against their programming too. Because it's like, I see it for what it is. You know, if I put something online and I really talk my talk, censored, blocked, they already play with my numbers all day long. Y'all might be seeing one number. I'm seeing a total opposite number. People telling me they can't see this, they can't see that. I'm a truth. It's just, I'd rather stick to the truth. It's easier, it's simpler. It's better to live your life that way. When you become to be very slithery and snakery, and when you become to be like a bit malevolent and just mischievous, just that takes too much energy for me. And one thing I know is when you speak the truth, it offends the masses. The truth actually offends people, but it sets you free. The lies, no escape with the lies, but the truth literally sets you free.
If I go to UK, will I ever get out? Probably not. Am I afraid of them? No, because I don't operate from a realm of fear. We had a 3-word instruction from the commander-in-chief. So if I had to go to the UK and fight them, I'm going to do that too. Until then, I'm on the PBD podcast. I don't know what they're going to try and do. All I know is I don't trust them. And I don't think any American who understands how the world's currently operating trusts the UK government with anything. Do you? Would you trust yourself to have a fair trial in a British court?
In UK?
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
Exactly. So it's a setup.
No.
It's an absolute setup.
UK.
Why did the UK even come for me? Once again, I have to be careful what I say because on the 23rd of March, I'm going to be walking into the jaws of a tiger. But I can tell you this. The UK Foreign Office was heavily involved in my entire persecution in Romania. From the first day. They didn't get involved later. From beginning, before it even happened, the UK Foreign Office was saying, this man is a problem. We're talking about him in Parliament. He's a big problem in our schools. He's a big problem on the internet. He's a problem. Can't you take him off the internet? Can't you make him go away? That was the UK Foreign Office. When I got released from Romanian jail, then I got released from house arrest. All of a sudden, Britain trumps up charges from 2009. Supposedly in 2009, I attacked some girl and I was arrested again for 24 hours. I don't know if you guys remember. And I sat there for 24 hours. I was like, okay, wait. Who? When? Can't tell you that. So you're saying in 2009, I attacked a girl. Yes. Who? Doesn't say. When? Doesn't say. Where? Doesn't say. Just says 2009, you attacked a girl. By coincidence.
Which means they can just stick and put charges on you, right? Right? It don't have to be true. See, in the world, they say you're innocent until proven guilty. I beg to differ. You're guilty and you have to prove your innocence. And even if you're innocent, right, it's still a smut on your name. Just saying. Think about it. So who actually wins at the end of the day? If we're playing chess, not checkers, who just got checkmate? But the game continues now, doesn't it?
Tristan also, 2009, attacked a girl. Where? When? Who? Don't know. 2009, you both attacked girls. No details. We made it up. Extradite. Thank God the Romanian state said, no, there's not even evidence. We can't extradite with this. It's nothing that doesn't mean anything. So the UK state start trying to get us when Romania started to fail. UK's lost its mind. UK will look at the violence against women and then start saying my name. Oh, this is because of misogyny. Andrew Tate did this. No, what did this is a lack of a border, unchecked migration, thousands of people coming over from the third world each day on dinghies who have no jobs and loiter around in the streets. That's why women are not safe in London anymore. Nothing to do with me. They know it's nothing to do with me. I'm their fall guy. I'm their fall guy for everything. As soon as anything goes wrong, they mention my name in the UK. I don't stand a chance in their courts. But am I afraid of them? No.
To me, they're doing the same thing in the United States with Trump and Elon. They're doing this. It's the same playbook. It's the same media conglomerate. It's the same playbook. They do something good, or they try to figure something out and be and hold the United States government accountable for their spending. Now they're trying to cut all these programs out. They're trying to do that. It's like people. But I know the mass amount of people. I have to, I say, you know what? The mass amount of people are programmed. There's really no point of you really trying to explain yourself because they won't get it anyway, right? Let them be them. Let bygones be bygones.
Because I don't operate from a realm of fear. I need people at home. You know what? This whole circumstance has truly damaged my faith in humanity. COVID did the same. Before COVID, I really thought people were better than that. Mm-hmm. But when I log onto Twitter and someone's like, Andrew Tate's accused of, I can accuse a ham fucking sandwich. What does that mean? It doesn't mean anything what you're accused of. It matters what you're found guilty of. And then you have to argue about the legitimacy of the court. Because there's people in America who are getting wrecked by courts. That's America.
Do y'all believe that the court system is corrupt? Leave y'all thoughts down below. I really want to know what you think. The court system that you pay your tax dollars to, you pay these judges and everyone else, right? Do you think they have your best interest? Or are they in the business of getting the money, getting the loot, getting the dinero, getting the moolah, getting the money? Yawn.
God. Imagine, please, is there any better sign of my innocence than the fact I won fair and square in a Romanian court under the Biden admin? Is that not the best possible badge I can wear? When Biden was president in a Romanian court, I beat my case. And they'll still sit there and go, oh, but he's guilty. Did I say some stupid things on the internet 12 years ago? Yes. But I also said I'm an astronaut. And guess what? Elon's not calling. So it doesn't matter. It's not, you need a victim. You need proof. You can't say he said one stupid thing on the internet 12 years ago. Anyone who believes that's a criminal case is a dumbass. So here we are. You talk about Great Britain, they're after me. Romania's still after me. Ron DeSantis is after me. Aliens are probably after me. I don't know what to do. I'm just a man. But, we're tall, brown, rich, and sexy. We're doing our best.
Back at it again with the best.
I left the link down below. I appreciate everyone for tuning on in. But most importantly, I want to hear you guys' thoughts of what's going on, what you think about the United States, the courts, not even the United States, just in the entire globe, because this is the worldwide internet. I'm speaking to the internet, the world right now, right? I'm just not in just one region. What do you guys think about the court system all over the world? Do they have your best interests? What do you guys think about Andrew Tate? Also, what do you guys think about the Florida governor saying XYZ about Tate not being accepted in Florida. And that's all I want to know. Smash that like button. Tell a friend to tell a friend. This is the beginning. This is not the end. Another episode of the Healthy Discussion Show. And before I go, y'all know how I like to end this. Positivity over negativity.